I'm about to reveal to you the biggest wealth killers you need to avoid in your 20s and 30s if you truly want to be successful. I have personally avoided these myself in my early 20s, and it has helped me become successful at a really young age to be able to start living my dream life. So pull out your pen and paper and let's get started. The first thing you need to avoid is high monthly recurring expenses. This is one of the easiest things to fall into the trap of. We're talking about having all those streaming subscriptions. On top of that, you have your car payment, your car insurance, and don't even get me started with the BNPL. These buy now, pay later options are also increasing your monthly recurring expenses. I remember from a really young age, I realized one of the biggest wealth killers was actually high monthly recurring expenses. How I easily realized this was because my parents was making a lot of money, but we was always broke. The lights were going off, the bills not getting paid on time, and all those things. And my parents really couldn't save too much money. And I realized the biggest thing was, and I was seeing that with my other family, my friends' parents. So I picked up on this small little thing and I knew to avoid this thing at any cost. All of your monthly recurring expenses are eating up your monthly income. It never matters how much money you're making. Sometimes you may not have an income problem, you may have an expense problem. And starting with your monthly recurring expenses is one of the biggest things you can do for yourself. So for starters, if your car insurance is really high, start shopping around for better rates. It's actually recommended to shop around for car insurance offers at least once a year. And you can save a ton of money by just simply comparing and switching. So if you wanted to start there, I'll actually leave a link at the top of the description for a website you can go on to shop around for better offers. Another way you can lower your monthly recurring expenses by canceling the subscriptions you're not using. I realize a lot of the time some people don't even know they're paying for certain subscriptions that they had years ago. So me personally, I use an app called Rocket Money. I'm not sponsored by them, but I use them to actually find the subscriptions that I don't even know I'm paying for. And inside their app, I actually get to cancel them. So I actually recommend you download that as well. There's a bunch of other apps that does the same thing. Like if you have Experian, they do that inside the app as well, I believe so. But start canceling these subscriptions that you're not using. Little by little, you start being able to save a little bit more money. I could talk about different types of recurring expenses all day, but I want to get into the BNPL, the buy now, pay later. You need to understand, if you have to use a buy now, pay later option to buy something, you don't have the income or the money to purchase that thing. So don't do it. I'm literally seeing these BNPLs get so crazy. You can actually start financing food, which is absolutely crazy. If you ain't got enough money to buy the food, then don't buy it. What kind of food are you buying? You have to finance. This is crazy. Now, I don't know if that was an actual real news report, but I did see something about DoorDash and partnering with the BNPLs. I know a lot of the time it looks good, like, oh, I can just finance this thing and on Klarna, Afterpay, or even Affirm and just pay, small increments. Don't do it. For the average person, this is a bad idea. I feel like maybe the only exception if it's something towards your education, that's the only time I would say this is okay. But if it's for things that's not going to yield you any return on investment, then don't do it. This is how you start building bad spending habits. All right, moving on to number 2. The second biggest wealth killer that I've seen is improper use of credit cards. Now, this is actually one of the biggest ones as well because I've seen a lot of people get into tons of credit card debt from mismanaging their credit cards. If you utilize credit properly, it can be a great asset you can use to make a lot of money. Like recently, I actually just got over $100,000 in funding that I can use to start growing my business. And I was able to get that because I have a good credit score. This is my credit score for anybody that's wondering. Yes, I am in the 800 club, man. Let's get it. The reason why my credit score is in the 800s and I was able to get over $100,000 in business funding for my business is because I managed my credit cards properly and I learned about credit at a young age. Now, I'm not going to get too in depth about credit and credit cards, but you can watch this video right here where I go a lot more in depth about it. But you have to understand that credit card, if used improperly, you can get into tons of credit card debt. Credit cards have some of the highest interest rates out there. So if you get into credit card debt, this will be very detrimental and very hard for you to bounce back from it because it's so high. But what you need to do is start learning the right way to manage your credit and start using it responsibly because you can't escape credit. You need credit to buy a house, to buy a car, and do so many different things. Or even in some cases, you need a good credit score to get a raise at your job or even get higher positions. Having a good credit score and a good credit profile typically just shows how good you are with managing money. So if you go to a bank trying to get some money from it, they see you got a 500 credit score, why would they give you any good rates? Or why would they even give you that loan in the first place? When you have a low credit score, if you go try to get a loan, you will get some of the highest interest rates out there. The better your credit score, the lower your interest rates. Like for example, when I bought my first house, I got a 2.2% interest rate on my mortgage. When some people might go and get 5%, which is literally hundreds of thousands of dollars difference, that you would pay more than me simply because you have a bad credit score. So once again, learn how to properly use credit cards and learn the proper way to utilize your credit because one great way to build wealth is through real estate, and which with real estate, you're going to need a loan for the properties, which if you have a bad credit score, you're getting either denied or getting some of the highest interest rates for those properties. All right, number 3, not leveraging compound interest. Albert Einstein said, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. Whoever understands it, earns it. Whoever doesn't, pays it. If you learn how to leverage compound interest, you will literally be getting paid on the money you already have. Like for example, if you was to open something like a high interest yield savings account, you put money into that account, and over the time, money will continue to keep growing because of the compound interest. The bank will literally pay you anywhere from 2 to 5% interest on your money just from simply keeping that money in that account. And you're literally doing nothing, and the banks is just paying you just from keeping that money sitting in that account. If you have a life insurance policy, that grows because of interest. Now, I want you to understand there's good interest and there's bad interest. Good interest is what you earn, and bad interest is the one you're paying. So if you go get a loan from the bank, they will have an interest rate on top of that loan you're getting, and you'll be paying that percentage on top of the money you're actually getting from them. So if you're leveraging things like high yield savings accounts, the banks is the one that's paying you. So you need to learn accounts you can open to start gaining compound interest on your money. Like I said, for starters, it's a high yield savings account, or you can even open a Roth IRA. With a Roth IRA, your money also grows from compound interest, and starting at the age of 18 years old, if you was to invest only $200 a month until you retire, you will retire with over $1 million tax-free in your bank account. With compound interest, whatever money your money is making from the interest, you also make money on top of that interest. That's why it's called compound interest. So learn compound interest. If you want me to make an in-depth video about compound interest, just comment compound in the comments down below. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is killing your wealth is only keeping money in your checking account. This actually ties back to what I just talked about. If you're only keeping your money in accounts that's not paying you any high interest rates, you're never going to make any money from the money that's already sitting there. If you're only keeping your money in your checking account, it's literally missing out on hundreds or even thousands of dollars because it's not in a high interest yield savings account. So if you have any emergency funds, any money that you're saving for your kids' college tuition, you want to put that money into something smarter like a high interest yield savings account. I'll have a link in the description of my top 5 favorite high yield savings account. I'll also put it in the comments as well. The next thing I want to talk about is not investing into yourself. Stop trying to invest into the S&P 500 and invest into the SME 500. You are your biggest and most valuable asset. Stop trying to invest into all these other things and you're not investing to yourself first. You are the prized possession. Invest into yourself first. Forget the real estate, forget the stocks, forget the crypto. You are the best asset you have. I want to go into this next thing because it actually ties back to what I just said as well, which that is another wealth killer is not investing into high income skill sets. People are not teaching themselves or learning high income skill sets. A high income skill set is simply a skill set that people want to pay a lot for a service. Like for example, things like sales, marketing, or even content creation. This is a very high income skill set nowadays. This goes back into investing into yourself because you can actually pay somebody to teach you the skill set of sales or marketing. These skill sets will pay you a lot more money because not everybody know how to do these things. The reason why you're not making a lot of money now is because what you're doing, everybody know how to do. If the thing you know how to do right now at your job is something that somebody can learn in a couple days or even a week, that's why you're not making any money. When I had my warehouse job getting paid minimum wage, the reason why I was getting paid minimum wage is because they can hire anybody just like that who can replace my job within a week. They probably can't do it as good as me, right? Because I was that good of a worker, but over time they can learn exactly how to do the thing that people want them to do. Because what makes you so valuable? Why can't I just find somebody else? You want a higher raise? I can just get somebody else to be in your position. That's why even in the warehouse, you get paid slightly more if you know how to operate certain vehicles like a forklift or whatever the case may be, because not everybody know how to operate the forklift. They haven't done the courses and stuff like that, right? That's why those people get paid a little bit more than you. The more skill sets you develop, the more money you can make in life, and the higher the skill sets, the more money you can make. So start learning some high income skill set. You can also start learning here on YouTube University. This is where I learned my skill sets, and then once you start actually implementing, actually doing these things, you get more and more under your belt and start having a lot more experience. The next biggest wealth killer that I see is people not learning delayed gratification. This is a huge one, y'all. This is a huge one. We live in an economy where people have microwave mentality. They want things instant. True success and things that's gonna actually last over time is gonna take some time. Some people may start going to the gym for a week. They don't see they lost that 30 pounds they didn't built over the last 2, 3, 4 years. They ain't lose it in a week and then they stop going to the gym. They invested the money into the stock market. They didn't see an instant return on investment, so they pulled the money back out because they got scared. Maybe they lost a couple dollars. Good things in life take time. You have to understand that everything is not instant. I know from the world we live in, everything is almost instant. The phones, the microwaves, cars, airplanes, and all these different things that we have makes everything almost instant. If you're always looking for instant results, you will really never get anywhere in life. I promise you that. The next thing I want to talk about is people not taking enough risk. You only live once. You have to take some risk in life. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. Now, I'm not telling anybody to go jump off a cliff hoping they can fly or anything of that sort. Because if you do that, hey, I ain't telling you to do that. But you have to start taking a risk. Take a risk on yourself. Take a bet on yourself. Take some risky investments, especially if you're young. If you're always scared to take risk, you would never be able to truly accomplish the greatest things in life. I would even consider risk taking a skill set. So learn the skill set of risk taking. The next thing I want to talk about is getting married too early. I understand a lot of people fall in love at a young age, or whatever the case may be, but one of the most detrimental things you could possibly do is getting married too early. Because I feel like you should really properly vet out your partner, whether that's your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Really properly vet them out. Don't just get married after a year or 2 years of being together. Really make sure you understand this person, well, this person like every single situation possible before you actually commit to actually marrying this person. Marriage is a serious commitment. It's not just, oh, we gonna break up and then no. Especially once you start getting successful, whether that's the male or the female, you start getting successful after the marriage, this person is taking everything from you. I've seen time and time again, I've talked to 7-figure entrepreneurs, 8-figure, 9-figure entrepreneurs, and they've told me they have lost tremendous amount of their wealth, if not all, from just marriage. Not specifically marriage, but divorces after the marriage. So don't settle down and get married unless you truly know this person in and out. The next thing I want to talk about that's a huge wealth killer is spending tons of money on designer. Designer is pointless. Stop spending money on designer. At least not until you got 100K liquid in the bank. Now, I can say I've literally done this myself. At a really young age in high school, I literally spending money on designer, all types of stupid stuff. And after high school, I literally saw all those things was pointless. I was doing that for the school and all the kids and everything like that. That was just the cool thing in high school, right? But after that, I'm like, yo, this stuff was really pointless, right? I mean, it was a great experience then, but it was really pointless. I could have put that money towards way better things that could yield me a way higher return on investment. Designer is literally marketed towards broke people, not rich people. Rich people don't even wear designer. I had to realize people buy designer to impress broke people. Why do you want to impress people who are not in a position you want to be in? Only try to impress the people that's in a position you want to be in. This is the only way you can truly elevate in life. Because a lot of the time with designer is the same exact fabric. It's just they threw a logo on it. It's like there's no different from the regular stuff. Now, if you're a person who likes designer truly, I'm not telling you could never buy it. I'm saying just get to certain points in life where you have already successful and then start indulging some of those things, right? Not spend all your money into it, but then you can start indulging in those. The next thing I want to talk about is always upgrading technology. The new iPhone is coming out. Yo, guess what? An iPhone will come out every single year. A new Apple product will come out every single year. If you just spend your money on all these brands, you're like, oh, Apple's so rich, Apple's so successful. Why? Because you're giving them all your money. You're doing it, your mom is doing it, your cousin's doing it. Stop getting every single new technology. If you give yourself 5 years before you upgrade to the new phone, guess what? It don't even be no difference really, right? A year from now, it's gonna be the same stuff. They might add a little better camera quality, which I can't even tell the difference at all, right? The next thing I wanna talk about is not paying your bills on time. The reason why this is bad because of the fact that when you're not paying your bills on time, what's gonna happen is your bills probably gonna go into collections, or if it's bills that's connected to your credit, then you're gonna start getting a bunch of late payments, which is gonna also hurt your credit, which we talked about earlier, is gonna start making your credit score lower, make you unqualified for certain loans, or get high interest rates, which is overall just come back to this big flywheel of just overall destroying your wealth. Now I'm about to get to the last one, but I want to add a couple honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 1 is drugs and alcohol. Stay away from drugs and alcohol. It's a waste of money. All the money you spend on drugs, alcohol, it gets really expensive. They tax that stuff like crazy. It's absolutely pointless. And think about the actual cost of the time it takes to actually go do the thing. Now you high, now you drunk. How much time you're actually wasting. You're calling off work because you high. You call off work because you drunk too much the night before. All those things are overall killing your money and killing your wealth. Another honorable mention is clubs and parties. Cut that stuff out. Get successful and then start indulging these things. If you like doing these things, reward yourself with these things. Don't be doing these in your 20s, 30s. It's just not gonna put you in the right position. The next honorable mention I want to mention is lifestyle inflation. The more money you make in life does not mean you keep spending more and more money. I had this problem in the beginning where I'll start making more money, I start spending more money. What did I say in the beginning? It's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you actually get to keep. If you're making more money and spending more money, you're really still the same exact position. Make more money, keep your expenses the same or even lower them. This is how you get past. Another honorable mention is also moving out too early. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be quick to move out from your parents' house. If they're giving you a place to stay and you can actually stay there without either paying super low rent or paying no rent at all, that's absolutely amazing for you. Put yourself in a better position. The best position you can be is paying low rent or no rent at all. The last and most important thing I want to talk about is trying to please other people. I've lost so much money trying to please other people, trying to look good in front of the people, that this can tremendously kill your wealth. If you're doing things to impress other people, you will never truly get anywhere in life because you're living your life for other people. I want you to make a commitment to putting yourself first. If you're in a financial hardship, you cannot afford to give your friend that money, give your family member that money, don't do it. Don't put that expense on your credit card. Don't do it. If they do not accept the fact that you cannot help them out because you're not in a position to do so right now, and they don't want to be friends with you, family with you, because you can't help them out, then they're not meant to be in your life regardless. I've seen so many different times where I see people put themselves in financial hardship trying to please other family members and friends. I hope y'all enjoy this. I'll catch y'all in the next one.